This is a perfect example here of the thickness of our wall system, which is about 13-14 inches thick once all of the material assemblies and their thicknesses are added together. Both the interior part of the wall and the exterior, which we'll show you in a second, they make up this very important high-performance envelope system for our house. On the interior, what we have is 2x6 stud framing. So between each 2x6 stud here, which is placed at 16 inches on center, we have a hemp wool batt insulation, 5.5 inch thickness. And this is great because it is mostly bio-based and it is a healthy product so that whoever is occupying this space, in addition to those who have made the product and worked with the product on site, will have a healthy outcome in terms of potential exposure to dust and other things related to that. If you're occupying the space, our major focus on this project, that everything inside the air barrier is a healthy product so that we are not exacerbating or creating issues like asthma, allergies, and any other building material related disease that can be a result of exposure to high VOCs and other toxic chemicals that are common in our building products today. So this SIP system, which is not a full SIP because we only have one layer of plywood and one layer of foam insulation. Typically you'd have a bit of a sandwich where it would be 2 layers of plywood, and in between the 2 layers you would have your foam insulation. And that, instead of having a separate sheathing on the outside of the exterior wall framing, you would have just this system there. But this actually was less expensive. To first do sheathing outside of the studs, then an air barrier, and then put this on top. That was better for our house performance. So that's why we went with this. I had mentioned earlier that we have a very strong preference and philosophy in this project for natural materials. Obviously, this is a petroleum-based product that does not meet that ideal, but the reason we chose this was for a few reasons. The cost played into it, and also because we're still experiencing supply chain difficulties after the pandemic. We had a supply chain issue because we wanted to first look at a few other products that were healthy material, lower embodied carbon, and due to supply chain issues and availability in this part of the US, we ended up having to go with this material for the exterior insulation. Everything inside of the air barrier is a natural material and virtually 0 VOCs if possible. But outside the air barrier, we've made this concession for the reasons given previously. If you like this content, check out the full house tour in the link above and the description below. Like and subscribe.